Hello, everyone. Welcome to Adobe Live. I'm so excited that you're joining us here today because this is going to be a super fun one. We have friend of the show, very talented illustrator, Adam G. Welcome. Welcome to Adobe Live.
Hello, hello. Good
Happy to have
morning
you
or
on.
or afternoon or evening or where
Yeah.
anybody is at
Yeah,
any
we have
given
people
moment.
tuning in from well, actually, that's a good prompt. If you're watching, let us know where you're tuning in from. I never asked this question. I feel like it's like the fatal crux because like I'm always curious, but we have people tuning in from all different countries. So let us know where you're watching from. But Adam, for people that aren't familiar
Yeah.
with your work, do you mind introducing yourself and kind of letting us know what you do and who you are?
Yeah, I'm Adam G. I'm a designer, illustrator, and creative director of Truth, a design agency in Los Angeles. And we mainly specialize in brand identity and visual systems. And in the last 5 years or so, we've incorporated a lot of my illustration work into the fold, along with our big corporate clients and little tiny clients as well. And probably this crowd might know my work from the Adobe Illustrator splash screen.
Pretty
Um,
iconic splash screen,
yeah,
by the way.
from 24, 25. So, my work is very kind of weird, abstract, modernist stuff. And there people said there was kind of a disconnect between, my personal illustration style and kind of my corporate branding style, and
Mm.
that they shouldn't be mixed. But sometimes you have to not listen to people
You
and
gotta
just
prove them
and
wrong.
just
Like,
and just do your own thing because none of us are
absolutely.
just none of us are just one thing. So
Absolutely. I
there you
think that's
go.
like a good point too. Like it's nice to be able to like I don't know, literally prove them wrong. Like just be like, put more of yourself into like a corporate aspect and show that like, oh,
Yeah.
this can still be very successful.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, there's more than geometric logos
Yes.
to,
Absolutely.
to creativity.
And
So
there's a little bit of love and movement and things. I have some
yeah,
feedback from Cody, not on you, Adam. It's on me. To
uh,
that I need to turn you up a little bit. I'm just calling it out now. Cody, let me know if it sounds good, and people in the chat, let me know if it sounds good. But we have a lot of people tuning in from a lot of different places. We have Pearly Cream Cheese tuning in from Florida, Eric and Tone Johnson tuning in from El Segundo, California. Uh,
local.
Mana Monamatika tuning in from LA. Wow, Honduras, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks for watching. And Pearly Cream Cheese says they love your artwork. Love your artwork.
Oh,
So
thank you, thank you. All right, we're global-ish.
yeah. Yeah. Spread
Yeah,
out a little bit. And we have some people that are already familiar with your work, which I mean is a better segue than ever to let people know like that we're gonna be seeing like the the money behind the magic, right? Like we're gonna be seeing your process with how you kind of get these shapes
I
and
don't know how
stuff,
much
right?
I don't know how much money you're going to be seeing,
fair,
but
fair. Maybe
you'll
that's
be
not the saying. I don't know what the
maybe
saying
seeing
is,
some
but
process.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the process for sure. I mean, we're already starting out here. Like I'm sure if people can see on the screen, like with your sketches, do you usually start with like physical sketches? Is that the easiest for you?
yeah. I mean, especially in this case. I mean, just to give you a little background on this weirdness that you're seeing here. A few months ago, Adobe asked me to create an illustration using generative shape fill and how
Mm-hmm.
I could fold that into my process. And I came up with this very strange abstract bull with a
Yeah.
skull within the bull. So and that's what we're going to kind of try to recreate today. But since it's generative shape fill, it never gives you the same result
Yeah.
ever, which is great for exploration and iteration and coming up with new ideas. It's not great for a limited amount of time. So we'll do what we can. Hopefully, the design gods will smile upon us.
We
But
all get one. We all pray at once.
yeah, so I always do little thumbnail sketches. I don't know
Yeah.
if you can see that. Super sloppy. But the kind of the general ideas are in my head. And I think, especially with AI, it's really important to be human first,
hmm
not just go directly to it and start typing in prompts
Right.
to create your work. It's you first. Impose your humanity on the AI. Don't let the AI impose itself on you.
Right. It's like it's just that like aspect and that mindset of using it as a tool set, not as like an iterative or generative set, right? Like using it as something to expand on ideas more than it is to create them. And I
Yeah,
think
that's, I'm sorry.
no, no, go ahead, go
I'm stepping all over you. No,
ahead.
go.
That I was gonna say, I think that that's just like the nice aspect of some of these tools, like especially baked in Illustrator, and the feedback that Adobe takes is like they kind of understand that like that's what we want to do. You know, that's like we want to expand the work, not necessarily like create it from scratch from these tools, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think that's where the whole, slop idea comes from,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
people just, creating stuff from words. And it's not, at least as creatives, we all know that's not how it works. And we kind of
Mm-hmm.
have a visceral reaction to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
I see Monica in the chat saying that they say cool to illustrate, but I'm assuming they're saying like the sketches are very cool illustrations. So, I mean, it's nice to see someone that has the process where they like start at the original form, like pen to paper, you know? Because I will say
yeah.
this is my fatal crux. I do not sketch in journals, man. I can't. I'm always on the iPad with the pencil, and I want to fill up sketchbooks so bad, but I have such a hard time.
Well, I don't think it necessarily has to be pen and paper,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, getting loose ideas down is also good. But, truth be told, I often jump right into Illustrator too. But
Totally.
sometimes, when it's a bigger project or a looser project, it helps me focus a little bit more.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of
Yeah.
jumping straight into Illustrator, I feel like I'm talking your head off. So I'd love to see your process, and you can kind of just throw us right into the loop and let us know kind of what you're doing today and how we're gonna achieve that goal.
All right. So we're going to try to recreate this bowl,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, using generative shape fill, a tool in Illustrator to kind of help us concept a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
create some ideas. So we'll just start. Obviously, I scanned the sketchbook that I just showed
Yeah.
you. Right. So this is the endpoint. So we're going to try to go from here to here in
Yeah.
some fashion, hopefully in the right amount of time. Now, I like to look at this, it's almost like a cooking show. I'm going to have a lot of pre-prepared things.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
little
we,
Martha
we
Stewart vibe.
yeah, diners, drive-ins, and generative AI.
That's awesome.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna bore everybody with this, but it's basically just the additive, subtractive, creating
The
of these
organic
shapes.
shapes. If you mind me
Yeah.
asking, as you're kind of working through this, so is this how I'm trying to think of how to word this question. Is this how you started designing and like started with your style, or was it kind of like an experimental thing that you tried one day and then you're like, oh, I really like this, and then it just developed and snowballed into what we have now?
Um, it, yes.
Both.
Yeah, it was kind of everything.
Hmm.
I originally was always going to be, I always wanted to be an artist. I went to art school, went to arts and sciences school in elementary and high school. In
Hmm.
college, I studied painting and graphic design and everything. So it was always just kind of there. And moved to New York after college, ended up in advertising, being an art director up to a creative director in advertising, because I had to pay the rent and feed myself. It just
Yeah.
so
That
happened.
is important.
Ended up in that field. And when I moved back to LA to start Truth, it was more focused on the creativity rather than
Right.
the marketing and selling products that I didn't necessarily believe in.
Hmm.
Many, I don't know, 8 years ago, I just started getting back into the art side of things.
Hmm.
And I always had kind of a loose fine art style. But I think the years in marketing and art direction and design kind of merged with my fine art style. And this is what happened.
Yeah.
So,
Kind
so
of
it kind
bringing
of, it,
the all the things together.
yeah, it kind of became structured and organic and, all these things kind of mashed up into one. So
It's
I
really
don't
cool.
know. I don't know if that answers your question at all, or if I even remembered exactly what you asked me, but
I think it did. I think it answered the question. And it's just so like I don't know. It's a really cool. It's like kind of seeing the like we talk about what is it, Martha Stewarting and diners, drive-ins, and generative AI, but like it is like seeing the ingredients to the like the puzzle, right? Like or seeing kind of the whole like where your brain comes from and where how you get to this end point. It's very interesting because I think when it comes to developing a style and when it comes to kind of creating something that is unique for you, different from other artists, like that comes from a lot of trial and error, that comes from a lot of life experience. And for every person, I feel like it's so different. And for this style specifically, it is so unique that it's interesting that that came from advertising and from college and from fine arts and from like all these different assets, right?
yeah, and my process is very, very iterative and
Mm-hmm.
exploratory. It's basically me just trying to find the right balance
Mm,
where my eye feels like everything is balanced and working together,
right.
um, which can take a long time. But again, not great for a limited time frame here.
Totally fair.
So,
That's why we prepped a little
so
bit.
yeah, so I won't bore everybody building out this little vector bowl. So I've prepared it over here.
Love it.
Right.
Love it.
So what we're going to do is, all right, this is the bowl on the left, and I isolated the body
Okay.
over here, which we're going to work with the generative shape fill
Mm-hmm.
to get this skull-like object. And then I also um, sometimes I like to inset the shape a little bit, just so I have a little bit of margin in there to
Okay.
work.
So
But
kind of working within those constraints.
yeah, yeah, we can either go, full border or inset a little bit. Now, so what we're going to do first is we're going to create kind of a motif or a kind of a piece of art um, to base the skull on. And what happened was I told you about this Adobe project before
Whoa.
where I was using the generative shape fill, and I'll just show you a little bit of the process. This is like, oh, let's fill it with some funky cow spots or, some
This
typography
is
stuff.
crazy. It's
Um,
very abstract.
and then I was typing in prompts like, oh, let's do a cow within a cow, but that's kind of split up into a jigsaw puzzle. I was kind of thinking like along mural lines, like
Yeah.
what am I going to do in this shape? So then I started exploring kind of Spanish and Mexican themes, toreros and bullfighting, and just all kinds of cultural influences to kind of create a mural. And
Right.
it was giving me some really funky stuff, but stuff that's not my style.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's cool, you know. I think
Mm-hmm.
they're good bases for work, but not really my style. So then I typed in cow skull, Dia de los Muertos thing, and it kind of gave me this cow profile image, and then that got me thinking, all right, well, I don't have to do this, complex mural thing within the
Right.
body. I can do kind of a cow head within a cow body, and then so I started iterating on this idea, and then eventually it spit out this little cow thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of looks like a skull, kind of doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it looks like a dog. I don't know what it is,
But it
but
kind of gets your brain moving, like
yeah,
you're kind of like, I kind of
exactly.
see, I'm getting an idea here.
Yeah, and this simple structure kind of fits within my wheelhouse
Mm-hmm.
of trying to kind of distill things to their simplest form, but also make it weird and
Right.
complex at the same time. So I started iterating on this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what got me to here eventually.
Yeah.
Um,
So crazy. So just so I understand too. So like we kind of have this like jumping off point where we
yeah,
do the kind of the iteration and the shape builder. So this end product is actually with like vectors with like the line tool shapes and things like that.
yeah. Generative shape fill gives you those shapes
Hmm.
in vector form.
Hmm.
I think I might have these as vectors in here. Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
so then, if I have the time, I would actually redraw those
Hmm.
ideas and make them mine. but sometimes it'll give you something clean enough where you can take it and modify it
Right.
and add to it. So that's what I did there. I kind of pulled it apart, took out all the things weren't me, rebalanced things, added elements until it became something that felt like came from my mind and hands.
100%. I think it's
Yeah.
interesting too, like this process, like it really speaks to kind of where we're at in terms of like sourcing inspiration. And I think it's very valuable because, I would say my process prior to these things being implemented would be like, okay, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to get like a magazine. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to like do 1,000 sketches, and then I'm going to try to like nail it onto something. But even like knocking down, like, because we all know that the cow that you showed us at the bottom to what you're showing us at the top is vastly different, right? Like what it spit out and what you provided is vastly different. Like even being able to knock 1,000 sketches to 500 sketches is just so nice as an artist. I feel like to be able to kind of hone in and focus on the, I guess, like getting to the end point, not like faster per se, but like being able to have more structured sketching and development processes. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. I don't know if you
Yeah, I
agree with
mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, I can see it that way. I tend to like it. Like, I don't necessarily see it as a shortcut. I see it as a way to kind of knock your design thinking and
Right.
conceptual thinking into different lanes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And sometimes it'll give you something that you can work with, but sometimes you have to iterate another 500 times,
Right.
but
Right.
it still knocked you into another lane and you're going down another alley, which is, to me, is very human, you know,
Yeah. Kind of like
rather
breaking
than,
out of the box.
yeah, exactly. And
Gotcha.
every step of the way, I kind of try to like to instill a human element. Like, I don't with my thumbnail sketches up here, I don't go in and try to, trace them or do any
Mm-hmm.
kind of image tracing. I go from eye to hand and I kind of
Mm-hmm.
hand do it with the shapes and start creating it because I think, all those organic unknowns make it feel maybe more flawed but more artistic. And
Right.
I think flaws are part of art. I
Yeah.
think that's why we gravitate towards it, And I think
Yeah.
style is focused flaws.
Absolutely. That's a good way to
Yeah.
put that. Put that in the quote. The
Thanks.
quote of
I
the
just made
stream.
that. I just made that up.
That's a really good quote, I
That's
feel
mine.
like. TM. Adam
Copyright.
GTM.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. So, time is going. All right.
Yeah,
So,
we're about 20 minutes in, so you're
yeah.
not even
All right.
halfway.
All right. So let's do this. So like you mentioned, kind of the old way of doing things is, whether you're pinning references or going through magazines, whatever.
Hmm.
However you're capturing your references is how you capture your references. But generative shape fill, I found gave me a way to kind of generate my own reference
Right.
in a sense, like you have a hand in your own reference. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to create a motif or kind of I don't know, we can call it a piece of art or pattern,
Hmm.
right? So we're just going to drag out a square and in the floating properties panel, hit, oh, I'm sorry, let me copy this first. So the prompt that I wrote was abstract graffiti composed from mid-century modern organic and geometric shapes and eyeballs. Because
Nice.
I have to have eyeballs on everything. That's just kind of
Yes.
my thing.
It's a good
All right.
aesthetic.
Yeah. So we'll copy that, go to generative shape fill, and it changes the properties panel. But I like to click on the gear here, and it brings up the
Ah,
whole generative shape fill panel.
yeah, the nitty
'Cause
gritty.
yeah, I like to have all my drawers out. Some people like everything tucked in, but it's like I like it all out so I can see
Yeah.
what's going on at any given time. So we're going to change it, the model here to Gemini, to Nano Banana. I like saying Nano
Mm,
Banana better
me
than
too.
Gemini because I mean that's a good name. We'll paste that in. Let's do now the shape strength that pertains to how much what you're generating adheres to any specific shape,
Hmm.
right? So in this case, we're just doing a square. Detail, I like to put it at 75. Now there's an effects panel. These are kind of the canned effects, which I don't use.
Hmm.
And color and tone, of course, I'm going to add my three colors.
The
That
signature white, red, and black.
white,
I
red,
guess
and black.
cream, red,
I'm
and
just
black.
I'm just a caveman. And
Simple's
then
good.
yeah, so now we it's like pulling the slot machine handle, rolling the dice. Let's see what it gives us.
This is always the fun part. Get to see. They should just change it to like a little, like
Ching, ching, ching. Yeah, yeah. Or like three X's. Eh.
Oh my gosh! It's like no, this is a bad prompt. Next.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Ooh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's
Ooh, I
pretty
like the
nice.
shapes. Yeah, I like. It feels
It's pretty
very like
nice.
I don't know how to explain. I'm not very literate when
Does
it
it
comes to
does it
art
feel like
terms.
abstract? Does it feel like abstract graffiti composed from mid-century modern organic and geometric shapes and eyeballs?
I would say so.
And I think that's what Nano Banana and some of the other non-Firefly models are good for. They're a little bit more
Hmm.
prescriptive,
Hmm.
a little bit more detailed, a little bit cleaner,
Right.
um, because I think they're probably pulling references from the world
Hmm.
that Firefly doesn't. So anyway, all right. So I'm happy with this as a reference, but what you can do, let's just do a variation on it just to have it.
So
So we click on the
varying
gear.
on these is pretty easy, you would say.
Yeah, yeah, you can in the properties panel, you can just click on this gear. It'll
Hmm.
come up. Let's do less detail and see what it gives us.
Sweet.
And it can go completely sideways as it
Second slot
often does.
machine pull.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
Eh,
Very different though,
very different.
notably.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I asked for less detail, but you gave me something completely weird. Um,
Little
but it's fine.
funky shapes.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. So, all right, let's take the original body
Okay,
of the
now we're
bull.
getting into it. This is with the
Yeah.
nice.
So now we're going to create the skull, hopefully, or it's going to create a skull. So profile of abstract mid-century cow skull, subtle etching, black, red, and cream colors only. I put subtle etching in there because I kind of wanted it to maybe, find some scientific, illustrative
Yeah.
kind of reference in there somewhere and mix it all in there. Maybe give me something interesting. So generative shape fill.
Open the drawers.
Open the drawers. So here's where we switch the model to
Okay.
Firefly.
Gotcha.
We'll paste it in. Now, I like Firefly to use Firefly with this step because with creating the skull because it's a lot looser.
Yeah.
It gives me more variations, and it's a little bit more naive and less prescriptive. It gives me
Yeah.
more. It gives me more to work with
Hmm.
to instill my own elements and style into.
Right. It's that knocking into the different lanes. Like it itself is unsure of what the
Yeah,
end product is. So you might
yeah,
get something different. It's like the benefits of getting something different every single
yeah,
time you click generate.
exactly. So this is the most important part. We go to the style reference, hit choose asset.
Ah.
Oh, see, and then we point it towards that. I kind of see it as kind of playing the models against each other, kind of
Yeah,
folding them in on
yeah.
themselves and see what happens. Let's be rebellious and break things.
Yes.
Hopefully.
How
Uh,
far can we fold in the neutron star until it
yeah,
explodes?
and you can go on and on with that,
Right.
kind of creating these loops and feedback loops and stuff like that to create
Hmm.
funkier and funkier things. So no effects, color and tone, the same three. Are we ready to pull the handle? Let's go.
Oh. And while
All
this
right.
is generating, I will say I ran a poll because I was
Uh-oh.
curious from an early conversation we had of if people sketch digitally or physically, and I'm pretty shocked because it's almost split down the middle. It's 60% digitally and 50% physically, which is kind of shocking.
Huh.
So, hey, look at
Interesting.
that perfect timing. Now we've got our
Perfect timing.
generation. This
Yeah.
is cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's like, what are you doing? That's not a profile view. Like,
No, it's not profile.
it's not a profile view. So, this is where things can go sideways, where it starts giving you
Hmm.
really funky things. Maybe it'll give you some other ideas, but we have an idea that we're trying to go for. So
Yes.
I'll I'll duplicate this, take this variation, hit the gear again, and I don't know, let's up
The detail.
the detail and see what happens. And oftentimes it'll spit out something that's completely different. It won't just give
Yeah.
you this with more detail. It'll
But
give you like
that's kind of what we want, right? I think
completely different. Yeah,
in this case, we want a different profile, a different perspective for this. So hopefully,
hopefully.
I
Come
think that's so
on, come
interesting.
on, come on.
I see the
Give me
preview.
something good. Oh my God.
Okay, we got some flowers.
Oh my God. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Not what we're looking for. X is on
Not
the
what we're
slot
looking
machine.
for. So yeah, so let's try this again,
Yeah.
actually. Um, because this is not, I mean, we can try it with
Hmm.
the other thing, but every time you go in here and do it, it'll give you something new. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll give us a better base
I mean, I
um,
think that's
to
the
start
the
with.
fun of doing this on the fly, right? Is like we're getting to kind of see like this probably is how it happens when you're sitting at your desk doing this not on a live stream. It's like you have to click over and over. You have to edit. You have to change a little bit to kind of get the idea that you're looking for. And I think a lot of uh, maybe more novice creators that use this work may kind of have like a different idea of like what the output would look like. But really, this doesn't. Again, it's like a tool. It's like we're still having to go through the processes of trying to get it to
Yeah,
work the way we
yeah. I
want it
mean,
to.
it's kind of giving me a skull in there. So
Yeah,
let's
we're kind of
see.
getting there.
Yeah. So
So now we're
we'll
using that,
see.
trying to coax it with that side profile to maybe do it a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah. You
more.
kind of keep messing with it until it spits out something interesting, but
Right.
or at least something sideways.
Yeah.
Now,
Reverb Mike said happy accidents, which fair enough.
exactly, and that's I love the term happy accidents. I use it all the time, and
Hmm.
that's definitely my philosophy.
Me
You just
too.
keep exploring, and hopefully you have the eye to recognize those happy accidents and exploit them.
Right. I think that's important is like being able to look at it and be like, no, this is something that is good as opposed to something that is like necessarily negative. It's very
Yeah,
hard. That's the artist
yeah,
eye.
yeah, exactly. And it's hard to quantify. You can either have it or you don't, or it just comes through experience.
Yeah.
Um, in this case, eh, I'm not very happy with what it's doing.
Hey, that's okay.
So
We keep jumping further down the rabbit hole. We're getting
that's
closer.
for sure. We're getting closer. But it's, you know, the AI, the generative AI is not necessarily iterative. Like it won't say,
Hmm.
oh, okay, well, I can see that you like that sideways skull. So let's give you more sideways skulls. It just, it's just a lot more random than that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is legitimate. I mean, we made the joke of like rolling the craps dice, but like it literally is like rolling dice.
Yeah.
Like which I think is fun. I was messing around with this a little bit on a stream in the past with kind of trying to figure out some new types of characters, just like getting some ideas down. And that's always very fun to like do a blob and then try to figure out what it
Yeah.
interprets from that blob. So,
Yeah. Exactly. So speaking of blobs, I mean, man, it is not playing nice. Of course, it's not playing nice when
it's
I'm
because we're
live on
live.
Adobe.
It's
Yeah.
of course.
All right. I'm gonna try one more,
Yeah.
and we'll try one more time. And if it's not happening, then I'm just gonna have to revert to something I did before because
Hey, that is totally fine with us. We're seeing the process, and even if we can't, replicate the exact magic on the fly, this is what we this is why God made plan Bs, This is why he made round twos.
yeah. All right. So I don't know. Let's replace the asset. Let's see if that works better.
Yeah. But I think for people in the chat and the people that are viewing in, they do understand that like this is what the process looks like, right? Like we are sitting here, we have a prompt, and we're essentially trying to reach something that's within the relative frameworks of our end product. Obviously, in this case, we're working backwards, but even looking at these designs, like what you're spitting out right now, like these are able to be like built off of as well, right? Like say if we weren't working towards your end product that
Yeah,
you've showed us.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm sure a lot of people out there are seeing things in these iterations. They're like, oh, aren't you using that? Why aren't you using that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's cool. That's cool. Why don't you go with that?
You're like, what the heck, man?
Well, because we're trying to go for something a little bit more specific, but
Yeah.
sometimes things are just not within your style at all, even if you've prompted the hell out of it to be within your style.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes it just doesn't work, so you got to move on. And I think that's kind of the danger of generative AI. Like it
Right.
can give you really cool things, but is it you?
Yeah.
Does that feel like it's coming from you as a designer or artist?
Right.
And if it doesn't, either change it, modify it, do whatever you got to do. But sometimes, stuff just doesn't vibe. All
Right.
right, so let's give it one more
Slot
pull
machine
on the
pull.
handle. Can you see the variations generating on your screens there?
I can't. Yeah. We should be
Okay.
able to. It's pretty big on the screen. I think we can we get a little hint. I like that we get like the little teeny preview,
Hmm.
and a little further, a little further. Yeah, I think this is so interesting to see it kind of unfold and try to interpret what you're trying to get to, you know? Like,
This is what I'm trying to get to.
okay, we got
You know,
there.
something, you know, something simpler along these
Yeah.
lines, you know, and how it got from here, this plus this equals this, we'll never know.
Yeah, but we got
But
the diamonds lined up.
yeah, so I don't know. Let's choose this one.
Everyone's celebrating the chat. We did it. Cody's like, we
I
did it.
know. Everyone's
Woohoo.
like, oh, this is so boring.
No,
Like,
no, no.
why
I
did I
think
log
people are
in to
stoked.
watch him pulling a slot machine?
It's like someone hitting the jackpot. No one thinks it's boring getting to the jackpot. You know what I mean?
Actually, let's use this one. So then,
Yeah.
once I have something I like, I just simply kind of lay it over here,
Yeah, yeah.
into the full body to see, does that work? Is it interesting?
Hmm.
And yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would say so.
Not yet, and I don't know if we'll have time to get there, but let's let's give it a shot.
All
All
right,
right,
next
so
step.
all right, so let's go to another artboard here.
Hmm.
All right, I'll take a body, just to work with it, and I'll simply just start. I don't know. Let's ungroup this.
And these are all live, kind of like vectors, all editable, even though they were
Yeah,
generated.
yeah. So, you know, ah. So then I'll just go in and start doing my thing, which is, kind of smoothing lines, making stuff
Hmm.
more geometric, modifying things to see how it plays out. With something as simple as this, I would probably redraw stuff,
Right.
just because they're really simple shapes. I'll even simplify this, smooth it out. Um,
It looks like you're using some shortcuts. I feel like you're a shortcut guy.
what shortcut did you see? Because
Oh, I don't know. It just looks like there's some like
I feel like
clicking
I'm
and
not a shortcut.
clacking.
Oh, I'm a clicker clacker. All right, so all right, so now this is just you know
Yeah, yeah.
me messing with
Bringing
stuff.
this guy down. So is this like kind of what your process looks like? It's loose, kind of throwing stuff, putting some
Super
stuff
loose,
together. Yeah.
super iterative, and again, like I forget the person who said the happy accidents part, but
Mm,
this is also part of the happy accidents as well. Once you put it in your own format, how does it look?
yeah.
And
This
then
is cool.
you'll start creating other connections. Ah,
Okay. Kind of get into the
So
shape.
yeah, I don't know why. Oh my God. Anyway, we won't go there yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I'll just get rid of this outline because we don't need it.
Hmm.
Um, get rid of this, get rid of this for now, get rid of this junk. Let's bring this to the front. Um, let's see. Now, let's create kind of I don't know, kind of a lower jaw shape.
Nice. I'm
Uh,
I mean, I'm assuming this is a testament to art classes, but I am so envious that you're able to build some of that out with reference or maybe not just like from your head because like my mind does not work in like
doesn't work that way.
proportions. You know what I mean? I'm a cartoon illustrator, so like I'm like make the eyes huge, make the head small, whatever.
Yeah, I start searching for that geometry and
Mm-hmm.
that flow with things, no matter like what it is. Like,
Right.
okay, this is one messed up bag of stuff. Let's see how we can get it to work in some fashion. All right, here's a jaw. Let's do just I don't know, do a quick kind of jolly thing here.
Nice. It's interesting to see even with like the
Nothing.
cruder shapes. Like you can tell that that's a jaw, right? Like
Yeah,
which you were talking earlier in the stream of how you try to I guess portray the most amount of like information in your artwork with the least amount of lines. I think you used kind of that type of verbiage, that phrasing. I think is very
yeah,
interesting.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Um, I think it just has, when you squint your eyes and you see it from across the room, you know that you're looking at some kind of skull
Right.
and some kind of bull um, like object. Because this isn't, it's not necessarily communication. We're doing art here. So,
Yeah.
I think we can be a little bit looser with our
There are no
interpretation.
rules. We can do what we want.
Exactly. Exactly.
I figured I'd let you know that or just give you a little bit of a time check. We're about 15 minutes until we're having to end.
Oh,
So
all right.
yeah,
All right. So oh boy.
but we can bump up towards the 50, 57, 58. Ryan Selvey does it all the time, and unless they kick me off,
All right.
we're
So
chilling.
then we'll keep it simple. All right. So now I'm gonna do kind of strange
Okay, using the
tongue
pencil
thing.
tool.
Oh yeah. Switching to the pencil.
Okay,
I have it on like on super
high fidelity.
for these purposes, high fidelity.
Yeah,
Sometimes I knock it down a little bit, but for these purposes, it's fine.
I'm a high
Um,
fidelity guy. I'm not judging you at all.
all right. So let's make that. All right. Got some kind of weird dragony thing going
Yeah,
on.
very angry bull. Showing his tongue and teeth.
Angry reproductive. All right. Um, this is
Yeah, watching this process is so fascinating because it's just like the building of the shapes. You do it so quick. And you're like, change the taper of the lines, do the pencil tool, but like, it immediately is recognizable, at least in my
oh,
eye.
thanks. Whoa, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
Something
this
just
is.
went something just went white. I don't
Oh,
know. All right. So now I'm just going to kind of do stuff like that.
getting into some Pathfinder action, or I guess Shape Builder.
Shape builder, just, subtracting stuff,
Yeah.
adding stuff,
While you're working
make it a little
through
bit more
this, like,
organic.
if you need to lock in And you can't answer these questions, no worries, because I also can't talk and work at the same time personally. But what tools do you typically use the most within your process? Like, is it the shape builder, pencil tool, shape tool? Like, what works best for you usually?
Uh, I don't have a specific tool that I use the most, but probably shape builder and the pencil tool.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And everybody's used to it now, but these little corner pulls
Mm-hmm.
are brilliant. I think they're more brilliant than any AI out there.
We do love a corner pull.
Yeah, I mean, because truth be told, I'm not great with the Beziers, all those curves and stuff.
Me neither.
Yeah, I tend to kind of get lost in them.
Okay,
And
now we're using some tools that I've never used before. That rotate tool I've never touched in Illustrator. I'm
oh,
not
really?
gonna lie. No,
All right.
that blew my mind. So that just changes the axis of the shape itself.
Yeah,
Nice, simple,
yeah,
easy.
yeah. All right, so I'm trying to get this tongue balanced.
Yeah.
All right, so we're really running out of time here. So I'll just start to wrap things up, start adding uh
I mean, we're
some more
still.
circles.
It's only been 3 minutes, so you're crushing right now.
Yeah, all right. Now let's see. I did a few pre-made things here
Mm-hmm.
because
Got
I'm
some
really
eyeballs over here on the side.
kind of stuff, recurring themes in my work.
People are rocking with this though. Mono Matika says it's looking very cool. So
Yeah,
I think people see the vision, even if maybe it's not at the speed that you're wanting to go. Like it's
thanks,
objectively
Monomatika.
pretty sick. Yeah, these eyeballs are so like probably the more iconic pieces to your work that I have recognized. They're very very cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. There's not need more room away from that
Mm.
tongue tongue-like thing. You know what? And let's put it over because
Okay.
it shouldn't be there,
Yeah yeah
which
yeah.
is exactly the point.
We're breaking the brain a little bit.
Breaking the brain. All right, so let's add some more fancy um, decoration.
Love it. So these are kind of like the organic shapes that you add generally for that kind of give it a little bit more of your flair, of your style.
Yeah, it's kind of filling gaps. It's kind of an I don't know. Maybe it's an excuse.
I mean,
But
it's intentional, so I would say it definitely serves a purpose, right?
yeah, so now I'll just start like let's start
Start
doing some
connecting
ornamenting
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, let's start what's the
Oh, this is cool.
is there stuff we can do that's interesting? Uh-uh.
Yeah, this
All
is
right.
this is really really cool. I like that. Can't even explain what feeling it's giving me, but I guess that's kind of the point, right? Like to invoke some type of emotion. It's
Yeah,
like it's
it's
cool.
it's like I guess you could call it art or or something like
It's
that.
just interesting to see like the mindset behind the abstract choices, if that makes sense. Because like I feel like when it comes to abstract art, knowing where someone's brain is at in the moment is very difficult because it's like
Hmm.
I don't think that way. Like I would never ever you put me in front of a computer and give me a million years and I don't think I'd ever get to this outcome, right? So like the fact that you're here in 40 minutes it's pretty impressive.
Well, and that's kind of obviously we're creating illustration and art, not
Right.
you know branding that needs to be a
Right.
lot more focused and everything. So you can have a lot more fun at it. But kind of the whole point of this is, yeah, this is generative AI. I'm using generative AI to base some ideas off of.
Hmm.
But in the end, it still ends up being all about you and the choices you make, or at least it should, you
Right.
know? And you're still creating something completely original.
Definitely. I mean, and even I don't know if we're able to. I don't want to disrupt your flow, but do we have a copy of the original generation off to the side?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to once you're finished up, like see kind of like looking from the pattern itself next to the generation that we landed on, next to this, next to your final product. Like it's going to be very evidently different, you know.
Um, yeah, let's
Some more connecting lines. Yes, my tool, the pen tool.
pen tool.
I swear by this thing. But actually, I'm a little bit of a faker because I use the curvature tool the most in Illustrator. It's my favorite tool. I can't stop. It's a little mix of pencil pen tool.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out the curvature tool,
I
and
learned on the
I, I
curvature
I
tool.
haven't cracked it yet. I haven't done any tutorials or anything like that yet.
Yeah.
But it seems like it would be something I would like.
It's the
Um,
beauty of Illustrator, right? Is like there's if it is a tool, there's 900 million TikToks and Instagrams
yeah,
about how to use it.
yeah, and what also is great about Illustrator and also Photoshop is that
Mm-hmm.
there tends to be like 5 or 10 different ways to do everything.
Right, and I think that's cool.
I think it's really cool, and you know, I, there seems to be a trend now with a lot of the design influencers where they're like, you know, this is this is the amateur way to do it,
Oh yeah.
Wah, and this is professional, wah, and then they go through like, 50 different steps to get to
Mm-hmm.
where they're going, where they could have done it in a few steps,
4, 5, yeah.
4 or 5, and yeah, it might not be like proper,
Mm-hmm.
um, but who cares? Like,
My most viral short form video
what
is
is going on here?
me making a joke, right? About being like, this isn't how you're supposed to color in Illustrator. This is, and the way that I colored is I used the paintbrush tool and like made the brush size really high, and then like literally colored in the outline like with my mouse. And oh my lord, people were up in arms. They were like, "You
Really?
can't do that. That's not allowed." Like so angry, and I'm like, "It's a joke. It's a joke. I understand." It's quite funny, like that versus the live paint bucket tool. It's just people feel so much conviction about the correct way to do things in this
Yeah.
program and in Photoshop, and really, I don't know if there is a correct way,
I
right?
mean, don't get me wrong. There's certainly fundamentals, and especially when it comes
Sure.
to preparing stuff for production, be it digital
Right.
print or anything else. But like sometimes it's about the destination and not the journey.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
When you're creating something, if I got to this bull in my own way, then I got to this bull in my own way.
Absolutely.
It's not for you to tell me whether I'm an amateur or
Right.
professional.
Right. It
You know,
doesn't take away from the art of it, right? It doesn't take
yeah,
away from the end product, right?
yeah, exactly. Um, so, all right. How are we doing? We
We
got a
are
few minutes here.
encroaching. So usually we try to give our like, you know, bye byes at like 11:55, or I should say
Hmm.
at 55. Because I know we're on different time zones. We're at 51 right now, so we're, encroaching that. But I'll give you like a 2 minute warning. How does that sound?
2 minute warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can kind of maybe do a little wrap up of like once we hit that 55, we can do that wrap up, let people know how we got here, what we did today, and then we'll say
Yeah.
goodbye to our lovely audience who I'm sure has
Yeah. I
really been
think.
enjoying this because I know I have. This has been really really cool to see your process, and I
Oh,
appreciate
good.
you feeling comfortable to share this because it's stressful to go live, man. Like, and it's you've been kind of banging out some stuff pretty quick. Some it's
I'm
pretty sweet.
trying here. Um, art while you wait.
Yeah. Yeah, this is so cool. It's also interesting to see how you're doing these like punched out holes in the artwork of like circle.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, normally I would take something like this and I could work on it for the whole day or many
Mm-hmm.
days, um, just to get the right balance of stuff. Um,
Right.
but, right now it's a little bit more of a product of
Time
time.
constraints. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
actually an interesting question is how long do you feel like I know it probably varies, but like on an average, like a project, a personal project like this would take for you? Like how long do you usually spend?
You know, again, it depends on the piece.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be anywhere from 3 hours to
Mm-hmm.
4 days, even for something simple, because when you're doing illustration and art, uh, it's not ready till it's ready,
Right.
and you as an artist whether you're happy with it. And sometimes, I'm just spinning my wheels
Yeah,
and moving
it
stuff
never
around,
feels like it's ready.
yeah, moving and moving. Okay, where was oh, here it is.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect time. We're about at the 11 or like the 2 minute mark. So if you want, you can kind of let us know how we got here, what we were working on today. This is
Yeah, so
awesome.
we generated using generative shape fill. We created a piece of art, and we took the body of the bull and we created a skull based on that piece of art. Then we took that vector art out that it generated and modified it and made it our own. And it ends up being completely different and customized and within your style.
I mean,
And
it is night and day difference, literally. Like, I would not think that the initial came from the outcome, if that makes sense. We're just mocking it up on a little,
that's the whole point. Like,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
use generative stuff as a crutch.
right. Wow. So cool.
Appearing on a shop roll up thing in your town.
Yes. Mysterious town. So if you see this in this town in your town, just know
Just
it was
know.
Adam.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that was an absolutely incredible demonstration for this stream today, Adam. Thank you so much for taking us through this process. And I already am seeing some comments, people saying, really appreciate your art and process. Your work and mindset about art, it is inspiring. Thank you for your time. That's from Cryran. I think people really enjoyed this. Like
Oh,
I
good.
enjoyed it. I had a ton of fun. For people that want to keep up with your work and obviously follow the guy who made the 2024 and 2025 Illustrator splash screen, where can we find you, and like do you have anything cooking up that we can look out for?
Working on some cool wine label art right now, and a
Mm-hmm.
few other things I'm not allowed to talk about. But
Okay.
you can find me at truthcreative.com, TRUF creative, or
Nice.
messymod.com. MESSYMOD.com is my personal illustration thing. Truth is more the company that does a lot of things. And then Instagram are the same handles. So find me there.
Perfect. Well, we
Yeah.
dropped those links in the chat. Cody, thank you so much for doing that. Also, Mana Matika says thank you. Natalia says thank you. And thank you guys for sticking around on this evening, morning, afternoon, hanging out with us on Adobe Live. And we will see you in the next one.
Yeah.
See you
Thanks,
later.
everybody. All right.
Thanks.